Welcome to another edition of the show. We begin with beach volleyball because there is a new facility on campus. Johnna Bazzani, who coaches volleyball and beach volleyball, joins us. It was good to finally have the groundbreaking, so to speak, in the first few games at home. That had to be a fun day.
It was a fun day, Greg. It's been a long time coming, adding this facility and being able to be home and host and having that opportunity to bring all 6 OVC teams this past weekend on campus was just an awesome day and an awesome experience for EKU to have this facility.
And I know you don't know all the particulars, but you can't just go get a bunch of sand and put it on the ground and it's a beach volleyball facility. It has to be a certain depth. It has to be a certain type of sand because you're playing on a surface just like a baseball field or a softball field or whatever, a basketball court, right?
Yep. So like underneath, we have 3 courts. So underneath, you got to make sure that there's drainage. So for when it rains or any of that, there's proper drainage. So all that water can get out. And there's a certain depth that you have to have the sand filled. But it is, it's a great surface for our kids. And, there's a certain type of sand you have to get, especially to compete on. It's not just sand at the beach because there can be rocks in them and all that kinds of stuff. So when we were in the process of building this facility, we really took into light all the different types of sands and what was going to be the best for us.
Because of the Olympics to begin, I'll give that a lot of kudos, and it became such a popular sport to watch. I got a feeling, and again, we're in COVID times, we're coming out of that this could be a really fun spectator sport, springtime, students out on campus. I mean, the sky's the limit, isn't it, for what it could bring eventually?
Oh, yeah. We had our first year, and then last year our season got canceled due to COVID, but especially this year with having such a shortened season, our first opening weekend at Jacksonville, just the environment for the girls and for parents and spectators was awesome, especially if you have nice weather. And it's a different vibe from the indoor game, but it's also fun for parents and spectators to see the difference between the two because they are very different sports. Even though it is volleyball, there is a lot of differences between the indoor game and the beach side.
You have 13 players on your roster for beach. 6 of them are freshmen. So you build a new court, so a new foundation. They're also a new foundation for your program as you go along.
Oh yeah, we've had the opportunity to have a lot of our indoor kids play beach, which is awesome because it's a great training tool. Going from our indoor season, having 2 weeks off, and then our beach season. I thought our freshmen were going to be a little bit overwhelmed by a new sport, but they've just really enjoyed it, and we've done a really good job at just trying to push them through these next 3 weeks, and they're having a ton of fun out there. They're learning about the game because a lot of them haven't played before, but they're actually doing so well for not having played beach volleyball before.
I know your record in both volleyball and beach volleyball is not what you want it to be, but do you feel like the foundation that there's progress that maybe the record doesn't show that you're making?
Oh, 100%. I think we've got a very young team. We've got 7 freshmen on the roster, and I think the foundation is there, with COVID and having a lot of factors that have gone into it. I think next year is going to be a whole new year for us, and I'm excited for it because we did see a ton of progress this year, even though, like you said, the record didn't show it. But I think there's so many great things for us to come in both sports. So I'm really excited for next year.
And then you make a switch to a more southern league, which to me sends a message that volleyball can be very good in the A-Sun. So you have to prepare for new environments, new places, new travel, new scouting, and all that type of thing as well.
Yep, I think the travel piece is going to be different for our kids, but it's all about how you prepare for it, And I try to tell them, no matter how we get there, how many days off, you still prepare the exact same way that you would do if you were riding on a bus or by plane. So that's going to be a huge factor for us. And yes, recruiting, I think the southern states are awesome for us to get some new kids into our program, but we still like to keep the same vibes that we have going on right now. But I do think the competition is going to be a little bit tougher for us in the ASUN, but we're excited for it and we're kind of ready for it too, so it'll be fun.
How's that 4-month-old son doing?
He's doing good. He's EKU volleyball's #1 fan. He's keeping the girls a little happier too, after games. You've got the baby there for good support.
You got plenty of babysitters if you
Oh,
need them, right?
yes. Yes, it's been great.
Well, good luck the rest of the beach season. Look forward to seeing you in the fall, too. We get back to fall volleyball inside as well, right?
Yes, we will.
All right. Thanks, Johnna. Appreciate
Thanks.
it.
Good to see you.
Johnna Bazzani, she is the coach of both the volleyball and beach volleyball teams. When we come back here on Inside EKU Sports, we'll go out to the baseball diamond, catch up with Chris Prothro. Big weekend series coming up for the baseball team against Tennessee Tech next, right here on Inside EKU Sports.
That comes to $1.45.
I'm sorry?
Oh yeah, for the cookie. The books are free.
For everybody?
For all undergraduate students. We call it EKU Book Smart.
Let's make that 2 cookies.
On campus, online, delivery, or pickup at EKU. The books are on us.
We talk baseball now with the head coach, Chris Prothro. The Colonels with a 3-game series at home out at Combs Stadium and Turkey Hughes Field against Tennessee Tech this weekend. Coach, when you look at the OVC standings, you are just 4 games out of 4th place. The top 4 make the tournament. 3 series left to play, but 6 teams to leapfrog. You have to take them 1 game at a time, don't you?
Sure, yeah. So we've been talking about this all year, is that you try not to get ahead of yourself at all. The most important day in our program is the one that we have today. Our guys will be in the weight room getting a lift in, and then what we'll do is we'll have a good practice tomorrow, regardless of what the weather does, to prepare us to be good on Friday. And, our guys have heard me say it several times that, you just take care of today, you make the day the best that you can to be prepared for tomorrow, and then we'll take it 1 game at a time. And if we play well and do things right, we'll like our chances. We'll have a good chance of being successful in that 1 game that we're looking forward to.
You had 1 midweek game, and you had a 5-1 lead over Kentucky. They came back and won the game 7-6. But I take a look at your schedule, and I know the record's not where you want it to be, but you've played 9 Power 5 teams, and of those 9 games, 7 games against ranked teams. I mean, you've really tested your team. How has that impacted this season?
Well, I think it gives the guys that are in this program now and the ones that will be in it moving forward, it gives them a true expectation of competing at the highest level, both regionally and nationally. That's something we talked about when I first got here in October, is that's the expectation of this program and this athletic department, is to schedule that way. And then when you do schedule that way, to expect to win when you play those types of schools. So it's been a difficult year for those reasons. We've had a tough schedule, and the conference is difficult as always. But if you look at it, our record, it's no good. We are what our record says we are. But if you break it down, you can look at, we've been in just about every game. There's a handful of games that that we weren't in, that we just kind of got beat. And you can say that for anyone that's got losses on their schedule or on their record. But for the most part, we've been very, very competitive. And it's just been one pitch or one play or one at bat that we need to really take that next step in. And we've been able to do that, like you said, against some really good programs.
Davenport had 2 good innings in the loss against Kentucky, 1, 2, 3 innings in the middle. He and Darren Williams are 3 and 4 in the OVC in strikeouts, but as a staff overall, still the lowest, or the highest ERA in the OVC. So where do you, at this point in the season, I don't want to look ahead to next year yet, but where do you, when you look at your pitching staff as a whole, where do you need to get better, and what have you been happy with?
It's just the amount of strikes, really. Everybody that's pitched for us this year has competed. They've done or tried to do what we've asked them to do. But we struggled in really 2 areas. One is we've walked too many people, and the other is we've given up a few too many home runs. And that's a deadly combination. Obviously, when you give up a few too many home runs and there's guys on base because you've walked them, you got a chance to have, some big innings in your ERA to be a little bit inflated. But, I haven't checked the OVC stats in a while. I know there was a good period of time where we were leading the league overall in strikeouts as a staff, and we've continued to strike out more than a hitter per inning over the course of our entire season, whether it's a Power 5 team or an OVC team. So we have some guys with good stuff. We've got to throw a few more strikes, and that's something that in preparation and kind of side work and kind of laying the foundation of what you do as a pitcher in your throwing program, that's something that is correctable, because you look at Louis Davenport, for example. he's walked a few too many guys. He's tough to put in play when he's right, and you saw that last night against a good Kentucky team. But he's walked a few too many guys, and you can't look at his delivery and say that there's a pinpoint a reason why, because he's athletic. He does a good job of using his delivery and his legs and all the things that go along with it. So it's about preparation. It's about mental expectations when you take the mound. There's a lot of things that we can get better at, that we have the guys in place that if they get a little bit better, then we have a chance to be very good on the mound. And that could happen on Friday, Greg. It really could. These guys, we have good pitchers. It's just about, what they're going to do when their number's called.
Daniel Harris had such a slow start after that great shortened season last year, but you take a look at the stats, and he's your top hitter, and he's well over 300 now. So he's come back and been who we knew he would be.
Certainly, and it was not easy for him to do that. You start in such a hole. Baseball is so difficult that it can bury you a little bit. And I give Danny a lot of credit for just putting his head down and continuing to work. And that's something, a constant theme that we've talked to our players about is if you continue to work, if you continue to do the right things, baseball is hard, but it'll come back. The game will come back to you. And that's what's happened with Danny. He never, was selfish because of it. He didn't think, my numbers are bad. This is hurting my ability to be able to move on and play. No, Danny was upset because he wasn't helping his team win. And when your mind's in the right place, it comes from an unselfish situation where he just wanted to help us win. You see what happens. He's a good player. It's like we were talking about before we got on the deal. Baseball is such an interesting sport because over a short period of time, you can really be fooled. A really good player can look like a bad one, and a really bad one can look like a good one. But the longer you play, the cream kind of rises to the top, and that's exactly what's happened with Danny. He kept working. The game came back to him, and he's had a lot of success over the last couple of months. He's been really good, and he's been as good as probably anyone in our league. So, and that's not surprising. We had those expectations for him when we started.
So you take over this program really late when Edwin Thompson goes to Georgetown. So you basically start in October. What do you think you've laid as a foundation for the future, and what have you learned? What's the biggest lesson you've learned as you look ahead after this season ends to next season?
So I think the foundation, what I hope the foundation is that our guys understand that this sport is so difficult. It really is. No matter who you're playing, where you're playing, what the conditions are. And to really look at the results and judge yourself by the results is a fool's errand. It is, because it's so hard to win. It's so hard to get a hit. There are plays on the field that are so difficult to make, and there are pitches that, can really be difficult to make as well. So, what we've tried to emphasize with our players is it's not about the results, it's about the process of preparing and doing things that winners do on the front end, and then just giving yourself the best chance to be successful when the time comes, when it's time to throw down and compete. And so that's been something that we've really harped on moving, since from October to now, is that it's not about the big pitch on Friday, right? Or the big AB on Friday. It's about the rep in the weight room on Monday. It's about the rep in practice on Wednesday. It's about getting enough rest on Thursday night before you play. It's about paying attention to what you put into your body from a nutritional standpoint. It's all those things, and especially obviously with the university and our guys being here to get a good degree. It's about what you're doing in class as well. It's all those things that lead up to putting yourself in the best position to be successful, knowing that it guarantees you nothing, because baseball's so hard, and everyone we play will have players on scholarship too that are probably doing the same things. And so you can't get tied up in results. It's about the process and what you're doing to put yourself in the best position to be successful. Hopefully that's the foundation. For me, what I've learned, I've got notepads, Greg, in my office of stuff that, not that I wasn't prepared for, but you just learn the importance of so many things that, not that you miss them, but just making the emphasis on the right things, right? And that's what I'll be better at moving forward. I think if you're not looking for ways, we could be 52-0 or whatever, 42-0 right now. If you're not looking for ways to improve as a coach, then you're letting your players down. And so that's our entire coaching staff, but it starts with me that's responsible for the direction of the program. It's every single day. If we're not thinking about what's best for our program today for us to be successful on Friday, then we're thinking about, and I'm thinking about what's best for our program in August, September, October, November of next year moving forward, to where we can be in position to be what this program is supposed to be, and that's a championship level organization. That's what it is and what it will be. And that's what this athletic department, this university deserve. And we'll be there sooner or later. Better days are coming. and better days could start on Friday. I have full expectation of us being super competitive on Friday, and if we play well, we'll be a dangerous team to deal with on Friday against Tennessee Tech.
All right. Good luck against the Golden Eagles this weekend.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Chris Prothro, the head baseball coach. Here's what's ahead for the Colonels. The Friday first pitch is at 6 o'clock. Then there's a twin bill on Saturday beginning at 1 o'clock. We'll have the Friday game on ESPN+. Hope to see you out at the Ball Diamond. And when we come back, we'll go over to the track and field side of things and talk with somebody that throws the hammer really well. That's next here on Inside EKU Sports. We talk track and field now, especially the field, with the women's throw master, and it's Hannah Cook, the senior out of Fort Mitchell. And of all the disciplines, and there are 4 different ones between indoor and outdoor, you're going to focus on the hammer. Why that specialty, and why do you like it the most?
Well, I originally came in with my specialty in shot put. And because hammer is not something you can throw in high school unless you do like AAU or something on the side. But I came in and started throwing hammer, and it was one of those things that I just immediately kind of picked up on. And next thing you know, I was placing like super high in the conference. And so they're kind of like, all right, let's specialize in this. This is like your event.
It's not like you go to the hardware store and pick up a hammer. I mean, tell me what the hammer is, and is it like a shot put? Is the motion the same, or is it different in some way?
So a hammer is literally just a shot put connected to a wire. And so the whole point is to kind of gain momentum and use reach to gain speed. So the movements aren't exactly the same because hammer you'll spin around multiple times, and it's a little bit of a different footwork. But oddly enough, I'm super clumsy. And so shot put, where you kind of have to balance on that one leg for a little bit. Hammer, you are more of a double support position the entire time. And so it's a lot easier in my opinion.
You've also participated in discus, but you said you like the hammer a lot more, right?
Yes, a lot more. I am not the best at discus. It was kind of one of those senior events where I tried picking it up, but it was nothing I even came in for. So we were just kind of see if I could pull something out from it, but ended up going back to hammer.
Take me back to high school at Dixie Heights. Did you play other sports, and how did it become that you came to EKU as a track and field athlete over any other sport?
So obviously track and field was my main sport. My dad was actually the coach of my high school team. So he helped me a lot with trying to reach out to colleges and collegiate coaches and getting my name out there and my stats and, just kind of putting me on the map. But I was also ironically a cheerleader. And I was on Dixie Heights national championship winning team, EKU cheerleading. They just won the UCAs.
Right,
so
that's
in
awesome.
my high school, we won the high school collegiate or high school national championship. But those are mainly the 2 events. I swam for a little bit in my life, but that took up most of my weekends. And when you go from middle school to high school, you complain a lot. Like, come on, Mom. Like, I just want to hang out with my friends. So I ended up just sticking with cheer and track.
So you come to Eastern Kentucky, obviously a senior here. Good decision before you head to grad school. Tell me about your days at EKU and what it's meant to you.
Oh, it's hard to put into words, and it's a very bittersweet moment right now. I came to Eastern, and I'm from Northern Kentucky. I mean, it's a metropolitan area. There's a lot of people. So I was like, man, I'm not sure how I'm going to fit into Richmond. There weren't really a whole lot of people here in the town. The town's kind of smaller from what I'm used to, but it holds a special place in my heart. Like I always say that I'm going to return home, but my family's here. I'm going to miss everyone on the track team. I'm going to miss my sorority sisters. I'm going to miss my professors. Everyone here is amazing. My time here has been, impeccable. I'm going to the University of Cincinnati next, and I'm probably the only one from a smaller school. Everyone else is from like OSU. They're from, UK. And that just kind of speaks a lot on the education I received here and that giving me the ability to kind of, go somewhere a little more prestigious. So it's going to stink leaving, but time to start my new life journey.
I have a son-in-law who's a physical therapist. I know how much he had to work on the books before he got his doctorate degree. So you've got a lot of work ahead, not to dwell on the past. In physical therapy, once you get your degree, still trying to figure out how you want to use the degree. You were telling me before we were on camera here.
Yes. So I worked a lot over the summer with Gateway Rehabilitation in Florence, and that they focus on and specialize in stroke rehabilitation. For me, that was really interesting to get involved in. I've also looked into orthopedics because at 21, last year, I was the last surgery that happened before quarantine happened. So I had hip surgery to get a labral repair in my hip done. And then after that, they said, don't come back to school. So over the summer, I got more involved with the hospital volunteering. And when I went to the orthopedic section, I was like, I know a lot about this. I've been through this. So that was really interesting to me. And also women's health. I never realized that they had physical therapists for women's health. And I feel like that's a specialty that I'd be more interested in learning about once I get to UC.
Let me circle back to your athletic part of your college days. And we ended here at EKU with the first Rick Erdmann Twilight Invitational, finally back here with an event at EKU with the new track. You finished fourth in the Hammer. That had to be a special night for all the athletes and a special 2 days.
It was amazing. It's been a while since I participated in a home meet. High school, it's easy to host home meets, but college, I saw how much work my coaches put into it, the athletic trainers, just setting up the field. It was a really special moment. That was the first time we've even had a senior recognition because it was our first home meet that we've had. And just kind of knowing the feeling of having the home field advantage for once. I'm not traveling to someone else's turf and throwing on their ring. It was really nice to, run the events and just experience the atmosphere. I feel like the community really came out to support, and my family was able to come watch. So it was a really special moment, all around for the team.
And now trying to score points in the OVC Outdoors May 13th to the 15th. That's the goal. Your final meet probably as a collegiate, correct?
Yes, my final meet. I'm going to tie a nice little bow on my career there. You might catch me in some open events, but, it's going to be really exciting to travel and just for one last time really shoot for some points for my team. I would love to pull something out so I could help my team with a better placement.
Hannah, it's great to talk to you. You're the epitome of what a student athlete can be, should be, and is. And good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you, guys. I loved being here.
All right, Hannah Cook with the EKU track and field team. That does it for another edition of Inside EKU Sports. To keep up with EKU Athletics, like and follow all of these social media pages. Until next time, we always say, go Big E.